Hey, hi, I'm Liz for Kelowna Now, and I'm here with Carrie Missler. Thanks for being here, Carrie.
No problem. How you doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
Good.
So, tell us about what's happening today.
So today is a memorial type celebration for Bob Purdy. He passed away last week, and Bob was a local stand-up paddleboarder here in Kelowna, who paddled over 2,000 days in a row to bring awareness to beautiful areas such as the Okanagan, Tofino, and the Great Bear Rainforest.
I'm here with Paul from Naramata, and Paul, tell me a bit about this day and what it means to you.
Well, today is just a celebration of life for Bob Purdy. Bob is a friend of everybody that's here, and you asked how I knew him, and I think anybody that met Bob became best friends with Bob right at the beginning. He led with love. When you met Bob, he just enveloped you with his personality, and I said earlier that this is a quilt work of people that belong to the stand-up paddleboard community, and I think Bob was the creator of the quilt. He was very passionate about the environment, very passionate about the sport, whether it be surfing or stand-up paddleboarding, and it was just, that was kind of his thing. I mean, he paddled over 2,100 days in a row. Weather didn't matter. He was just out, and that was his thing, and I think everybody just respected Bob. He was like an elder. I called him the David Suzuki on a stand-up paddleboard.
Wow.
Right? So
That's
that
quite a
was,
legacy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody here today, is just here to celebrate his life and to remember him and to keep the push going about the environment and making people aware that we need to keep our waters clean and behave ourselves properly on this planet.
I'm here with Dot, an avid paddler and supporter of Bob. Did you know Bob?
I did. He's a
What-
very close friend.
How did you guys meet? How did you get to know Bob?
I met him. I moved from Alberta uh, to retire and start a new life here in BC. Bob was a strong ambassador for stand-up paddling, and I met him when I first arrived in BC through the paddle community.
I'm sure there's lots of memories being shared today. What kind of things have you been hearing about Bob and sort of the impact he had on people and the legacy he left behind?
There's just so many stories and comments and pictures that people have been talking about with Bob. As you can see, there's so many people here and just a lot of people who couldn't make it as well. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of people reaching out online and showing their support. He was an awesome guy and made friends everywhere he went, right? So, super cool guy.
Bob would show up in a tutu to most of the races that we were ever at together, and you'd see Bob anywhere because he'd have his tutu on. And so I went and found a few tutus yesterday, so there were a few of us wearing the pink tutus. And this will be my future attire out on the water. I will wear this in memory of Bob every time I go paddling. So it's
And it
visible
looks
on
like
the water
it's
too, so
visible, it's high vis, so
is
that's
high
great.
vis.
It looks like quick dry material too. It's almost
I think so.
technical gear.
It is. I think it is, and that
You might see this at MEC
in a-
any day.
in a downwinder. I think if I hold
Oh,
it out,
yes,
like I could have a sail.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're getting to shore like nobody's business. Yeah.
Well, I'm here to honor Bob. That's what we do in our paddle community usually when someone passes. And Bob always, I wanted to come to Rotary Park, Rotary Beach, because this is where Bob did most of his paddling for his 2,100 days that he paddled in over the 6 years. And if I was in Kelowna, this is where we would meet in the morning to paddle. So I felt this is a place for me to do that and honor him this morning.
And the rain seemed to have held off for Bob, and the snow, and not too windy
But
today.
Bob paddled in anything.
Anything, yeah.
So we were all prepared for it, and I was kind of keen on the old snow part. I paddle every morning, generally just in my routine, and I was always with with Bob in spirit every morning. We often talked and texted and back and forth over the years. It's a sad day today for all of us in the community, but he's touched all of us, and his legacy, he's a legend, and will all continue with his thoughts and what he did for the planet.
Do you think this will continue his events that he'd started and just that awareness for conservation for lakes and rivers?
I think so. I mean, Bob has quite a large following, right? So not only is this happening here in Kelowna, it's happening as well today in Tofino, Vancouver, and a few other areas around the world. So everyone kind of went out, showed their support, paddled for him at the same time.
All for Bob.
All for Bob, yeah. He was always in such a good mood, you know. Honestly like a real tragedy.
What do you think you'll remember most about him?
For me, you know, just he was always like keen to do anything. Like it'd be like, hey Bob, we need to go do this for the film. You know, we need you to go surf behind this boat. We need you to go surf this wave, or we need you to go out in the middle of the water in freezing cold, you know, winter. And he just loved it, and he was always game for anything. And then just like we'd always, you know, be laughing and stuff, right? Having a good time. That's what life's about.
What do you think you'll remember most about Bob?
His smile and his big heart, and his kindness. He was so kind soul, and touched everybody that he crossed paths with. So I'm blessed to have been a part of his life, the good and the bad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks for
guys.
being here. Okay. I've been speaking with Dot for Kelowna Now.
Love you, Bob. Love you, Bob. Thank you. Best hugs ever.